Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MotoAmerica AMA/FM North American Road Race Championship and the MotoAmerica Championship of Pittsburgh. We're at Pit Race, also known as Pittsburgh International Race Complex in Wampum, Pennsylvania. Round 8 of 10 for 2018. I'm Greg, who's talking now, and Jason's getting ready to talk here in a second. Jason Pridmore's won a couple titles at this level, and it is an absolute fantastic day here in Western PA, JP, at a fantastic racetrack.
Yeah, great, and so many fans out today. It's the hills were getting filled up yesterday, and this morning I went up there to watch a little bit of the practice sessions, and everyone's got their tents up. Got some cool cars in the paddock there that I was looking at earlier as you walk up to the top of the hill there, and we're getting ready for, I think, what's going to be a pretty competitive Liqui Moly race here, Greg.
The Liqui Moly Junior Cup race on tap, race number 1. Let's take a look at the track, Jason. This 2.78-mile road course is quickly becoming a favorite for a lot of racers.
And it's a favorite, Greg, because it has a lot of different things on it. Going down into turn 1 is blind, up over the fast turn 2, where a lot of spectators will be up on the hill, into our first braking opportunity, turn 3, passing zone there, down through 4, 5, 6. We don't really have anything like that on our calendar. Up over the top of a hill into this S section from turn 7 to turn 10. Very important for bike setup, and through that fast kink, turn 11. And then another very technical area, 12, 13, and 14. Maybe one of the hardest corners I've ever gone through as far as not really knowing where things are at. Fast kink turn 15, and then we built a chicane here last year just to slow these guys down a little bit, which has been great that Pittsburgh was able to do that for us. 17 and 18, last passing spot in turn 17, and a run to the flag. But you know, this track, anytime you come to a new facility and the track organizers are willing to work with the riders and MotoAmerica staff to make it safer, I applaud them, and they did that last year for us here.
Warm-up lap underway for the Liqui Moly Junior Cup. You can see number 23 on the orange KTM is our championship points leader, Alex Dumas. Dumas was able to squeak his way onto pole position. We'll tell you about that a little bit later on. But Dumas comes in here with a 27-point advantage over Ashton Yates, and he's got another 30 over Corey Ventura. Let's take a look at the starting grid, and a 156.752 for Dumas. Just 14 hundredths of a second, yeah.
And Corey Ventura, our last winner at Sonoma. Toby Campson with a tremendous run up to 4th. Gavin Anthony, Jackson Blackman, good for Jackson getting up there on that second row. Renzo Ferreira, we've seen him win a race this year. Kevin Almeida and Damian Jigalov outside of row 3. Then we got Gage Reese, Mark Edwards, and Hunter Dunham in row 4. These guys, Greg, the leaders in this class, I think it's some 3 seconds quicker than last year, so it shows just a little different motorcycles. You got Dylan Deutschlander, Dominic Doyle, Joe Blash is there in row 5. Jay Newton, Jamie has to deal a little further back than we were used to seeing her, and Drake Beecham outside that row. And then we got Sean Varsky, another guy I'm surprised to see so far back. Jarrett Nassini, Nate Minster, Cameron Jones, Trevor Trandish, and Tyler Whistle round out row 8. And then we go back to row 9. We got Dallas Daniels, and we don't have time there for Ryan Deutschlander and Benjamin there. But anyways, we got a big field. This class is obviously...
It's filled with talent. I mean, it's absolutely filled.
Yep.
You have Dallas Daniels who did a 201 flat. He's in 25th position.
Yeah.
But Dallas...
I don't think Dallas was here yesterday. I think it might have been another dirt track commitment last night, possibly, to see him back where he's at. So he's probably never seen this track before, Greg, and maybe that's why he's back there.
Yeah, so we expect to see Dallas to roll up through the field. I mean, Dallas Daniels is one racer that this year that's had a podium appearance.
Yeah, and you can see there's our points there. Alex does have that 27-point lead, as you said. And, you know, this track going into turn 1 here, and straight from turn 1, there's going to be a lot of drafting up to turn 3. Very important to get a good start, maybe more than anywhere on our calendar. Sonoma's kind of like this, where it's a very difficult track to pass on. So if you did get a bad qualifying, or you just had a problem in qualifying and you weren't able to improve from yesterday, as they went out this morning for their second qualifying, this guy here improved, Greg. 56.70, did it with 2 laps to go. Ashton Yates had done the same. I talked to Liqui, and Liqui said that Ashton got a little bit out of shape in the last corner, and he felt that was a good couple of tenths there that it cost him. You can see the grids form nicely. Rachel at the front.
So we're getting ready to go in the top 3 rows. Of the top 3 rows, the 9 riders, 7 of those riders have been on the podium before. So we're getting ready to get race action underway.
Oh, we got a rider back there waving his hand up, Greg. You can see that back there, number 24, just a little Joe Blasius.
Yeah.
Now it looks like he's got everything going. Okay, good.
All right, so give me all clear.
Number 20.
Bike stalled.
Is that Mark Edwards? I didn't believe that's Mark Edwards, who maybe stalled on the grid, got his hand up immediately. You can see him get going, but Alex Dumas with a tremendous start. Corey Ventura, Ashton Yates right there. That's going to help Ashton. Hopefully he can get right in behind Corey Ventura and get that draft up to turn 3 here. I can see Damian Jigalov. I can see the yellow in his leathers. Looked like he got a tremendous start as well.
The field's starting to sort itself out here at Pit Race.
And this is down through turn 3. You see Alex is already trying to get away a little bit. I'm sure that Ashton was, he probably drafted up to Corey going into turn 3 and was able to outbreak him. And now you can see Corey going after him. Damian Jigalov with a tremendous start. Another kid who really improved his lap times this morning. He's going after Corey Ventura as they go up over the top of the rise down into that turn 7, 8, 9, 10 S section. Damian Jigalov is going to move himself up into that 3rd spot. He's a young man that's been spending the last 2 or 3 years over in Italy. And he's just trying to, he wants to do a full season of this Liqui Moly Cup next year.
That's number 78 out of Illinois on the Bart Kahn Racing Ninja. So right now we have a couple of Kawasaki's chasing a KTM, and then the first of our Yamahas, number 64 on the MP13 Racing, Corey Ventura, first of our R3s.
And just so you know, that is definitely a bike swap for Damian, because we've seen him earlier this year. We saw him on a Yamaha for the first few rounds. So, you know, you can see he's jumped himself up onto that Kawasaki.
That's why I was looking at my sheet.
3rd. Yeah, that's good.
I was taking a long look at the sheet saying, wait a second, I remember him being on a Yamaha.
That's
correct. It sure looks like a Kawasaki 400.
Yep. And it was funny because I didn't actually know that. And then just when I saw it, I'm like, oh, that bike looks a little bit bigger. And the Kawai's just a little bit bigger than the Yamaha. So now, Corey Ventura, Gavin Anthony, Jackson Blackman all got to do what they can to stay in the draft. And Jigalov, Damian's probably one of the smallest guys, definitely one of the lightest in the class.
Lap times coming in. Yeah, it is Damian who grabs the fastest lap of the race thus far, a 2:05. So a 2:05. So right now,
standing start.
Yeah, from a standing start, exactly. So we look forward to seeing on this lap how quick they can get. Oftentimes in the Liqui Moly Junior Cup classes, you take another look at the start, we'll see qualifying times.
We've seen Mark Edwards run up at the front this year. You see Jamie Astudillo.
Good job by Jamie, number 49.
But, you know, great job for Mark too to get his arm up and wow, number 42 almost didn't see him.
Wow, that was like head down.
Wow.
That was
close.
Benjamin
really
Ferris
close.
out of Maryland on the Chaos Racing, almost created chaos. But good move at the last moment to pick your head up. A good lesson for all you racers when you start. Don't look down at your tack. Get your eyes up and see where you're going.
Yeah, for sure. Especially at the start, you got to make sure that there's so much stuff that can be happening in front of you there. This is kind of.
Yeah, you know about all that, don't you, James Randolph?
Yeah.
There you go. If Randolph is watching.
Past, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Ashton Yates, this is kind of the area where he shines. He really uses his body a lot through all those S sections and carries a ton of corner speed. And you can see now they've kind of closed back up on the back of Alex as they head up the hill here.
Now this is our 2nd year here, Jason. Of course, it's a beautiful race course, but what about passing opportunities? You think if you're Ashton Yates, where are you thinking about striking first?
Well, it's going to be on the brakes for Ashton. We know that. I don't know if it's going to be down into this little chicane area that they come down to right now. They're headed in there. You can see right now Alex is just able to hold him off. It gets really tight now, real easy to make a mistake. You can see Corey kind of ran up on the back of Jigalov there, and it hurt his drive on the exit. It looked like they were trying to go up underneath Corey. Now he was able to hold them guys off. So, but right now Jigalov is the one. He's gone with these 2 leaders pretty easily.
So Alex Dumas is leading the way. Here comes across the line. We'll get our first glimpses at race pace, 1:57.9s, and actually Toby Kamsuk in 9th place at the fastest lap of the race, a 1:57.3. So 1:57s all the way, 1:57s all the way from 1st to 9th.
Yeah, and what you're going to see, Greg, is I think that the low 57s are going to be the times to do. Toby must have got a really bad start, got shuffled back. Remember, he came from row 2. He was 4th on our grid today. And you see Damian Jigalov has now got past Ashton. These 3 guys have pulled away. Ashton's going to be the only one that knows that these 3 guys have kind of got away a little bit. There's Renzo Ferreira is in there too. Another guy on a Kawasaki that might be able to pull some of this group forward if he was able to get by Jackson. If these all 3 here get to plan at all with each other, it's going to make it to where that gap closes. And then really where that started was back in that chicane area. I saw Corey just got up the back of Jigalov a little bit in there, and it hurt his drive on the exit, and just that alone was enough to create that bit of a gap.
Renzo's number 31 out of Brazil in the quarterly racing Ninja 400. Alex Dumas under tremendous pressure, continuing to lead the way. Dumas is the number 23 out of Canada.
Corey's so good through all that S section. He did such a good job to close back up. 49.6 first segment for Damian Jigalov. That's the fastest that we've seen. 36.7. Second split is the fastest one of the race.
There goes Damian up the inside in the chicane. A good move. So he'll take over the lead for the moment. See what kind of horsepower that KTM has. Of course, rule changes all throughout the year to make these machines as equal as possible. So now it's Jigalov in his short career here in MotoAmerica. He'll lead a race for the first time.
Just looking back, this is going to be a very fast lap from Corey Ventura. He's probably going to go purple in our last sector also, as he 56.9 for Corey Ventura to pull himself back up to that group. So, and he's brought Renzo with him, and now you can see a little separation between Renzo and Jackson Blackman, just about a second between those guys now, as Corey pushed himself through that S section to get himself back there. Here comes Alex Dumas. He's going to try to work on Jigalov as they head down into turn 3.
Wow, this can be a little sketchy of a pass, as he will do it, and so he'll take over the point once again. Alex Dumas, the Canadian on that KTM Orange Brigade JP43 training machine. Is this Alex? Does he like to lead? He doesn't want to follow, or
he likes to kind of control things a little bit. Just talking with him prior to the race, kind of felt like there could be 4, 5, 6 guys in this lead battle. But I know the consistency that he has shown all year long. And here comes Ashton trying to go around the outside of Jigalov as they go into those S's. Damian shuts the door firmly there, going down into there. So this is a great ride from Damian, being able to jump on that 400 Kawasaki, get accustomed to it. And you can see he actually pulled away a little bit through the remaining part of those S's. This is where Corey Ventura shines. I fear that if these guys let Corey get to the front and he can get down through those S's before anybody else, it's going to be hard for them to do anything with him. And you're probably going to be able to see Jigalov now try to draft again. Let's see if he just on the right side.
Ripping on the edge of the tire on that one.
Yep.
Comes side by side. Nope. Good on the brakes.
That lap there, Alex was able to just kind of rip it through that chicane. And
plus, Alex probably knew that shot was coming because Damian just did it the lap before.
That's right. And the thing about Alex is he's able to somehow find pace as the race goes. He's got a lot of race intelligence, Greg, where he's able to kind of see what's going on in and around him and then make some adjustments. So Jigalov looked like he's going to line up a pass down into turn 1. See if he's able to make that work. He looked like he was up alongside Alex.
He'll take the point.
He's going to go through and look at Corey Ventura. Corey jumps himself up into 3rd now.
And by the way, what we didn't see over the crest of the hill was Jigalov actually got around Dumas before the start-finish line. So had that been the last lap of the race would have gone to Jigalov by 12 thousandths of a second.
Yep, great call, Greg. That's exactly right. He's going to put that in. Damian, as young as he is, he's again another kid that's got a lot of racecraft. Jackson Blackman, tremendous job. Jackson's pulled that group further now. They've gotten rid of Gavin Anthony and Toby Kamsuk back there. Those guys are back off the back of this group. Jackson Blackman, that last lap through, runs a 57.1, his fastest lap of the race.
Side by side, and Jigalov to the lead again around Dumas. That one started at the exit of the last corner. He got it upright quicker and on the gas harder.
And look at Corey Ventura. He jumps up into 3rd. This is his little area where he's so fast.
Talking to Corey Ventura before the race, I asked him what his race prediction was, and he said he thought there was going to be at least 6 of us that are going to go all the way to the checkered flag. So Corey Ventura knows what he's talking about here as we go halfway through this race. Ventura number 64 on the Yamaha, and this is what we wanted to see in the Liqui Moly Junior Cup class. It's Kawasaki, KTM, Yamaha in that order at the moment.
That's exactly right, and it's great to see 6 guys all going for it. Now Alex got the drive, and look at Corey Ventura trying to sniff that draft of Alex Dumas. Let's see what they do with Damian as they head down into the chicane. Wow, Damian got just completely swallowed up by both Ventura and Ashton Yates.
So just like that, Damian Jigalov goes from the lead to 4th spot.
But he's small, so you watch what happens here when they bring this thing onto the front straightaway. He's going to just draft right on past Ashton Yates, and if it's a big enough draft, he's going to be able to also do something with Corey probably as well.
So the advantage Dumas had last year, right?
Yep.
Oh, rider down.
Down right in the middle of the track. Now that's the chicane. Is that Gavin Anthony? We're going to have a red flag.
76.
Right, for sure. Yeah, we got a red flag. It looked like, Gavin Anthony has not come across the line. there was 2 bikes down. Gavin was definitely one of them. Didn't see either rider, which is probably a good thing. Hopefully those guys have run off the track, and there you go. There's just having a look here. We do see 2 riders now. So it looks like, is it Trevor? No, it's Kevin Almeida maybe, Greg?
It might be Kevin. It might be Kevin the 14, only because we know Gavin Anthony, number 76, and Kevin Almeida did not come across the line on our timing and scoring screen, and they were very close in racing. So that looks like the Monkey Moto AGV Sport bike, possibly.
Yep, very possibly.
Yeah, the 114 of Kevin's.
Yeah. Definitely looks like a 1 on the front of that 14 bike. Yeah. So
it's hard to tell. I don't see that view of motorcycles very often.
Yeah.
That is 14 there. Yep. So Kevin Almeida out of El Salvador, and he is on that AGV, that Monkey Moto AGV Sport entry. So
let's hope those guys are okay. I could see Kevin run over to Gavin, it looked like. And, we'll just have to wait and see.
So under red flag conditions here, we had 5 to go. So they're going to back it up, so it's 6 to go. And there's Gavin Anthony's bike. Gavin, of course, out of Ohio on the Attack Performance Heron Compound Racing machine. So one of the closest races for him.
And we've seen him lead races this year. Gavin hasn't. The problem is that when you get these little bikes, they draft so well that you can get big packs going down into that chicane, and it narrows in so much. And the reason why they had to build a chicane down there is the turn that they had is such a fast kink, and there's just a little bit of limited runoff, and there's nothing the track can do about it because there's a 150-foot drop basically around that on the other side of that Armco. So they came up with the best solution that they could, but it just gets really narrow down there. So it definitely takes, and there's Gavin. Good to see him moving. Good to see him sitting up. So, it looks, it doesn't look like they're in a big hurry with him. That's a good thing. He might have rung his bell, Greg, or got the wind knocked out of him. So let's see what happens. Do they touch the curb? This is after, so we're not really sure. Obviously, it looks like
there's some dirt on the inside of that.
On the inside of the track, on the exit, there was a puddle there the other day when we did our walk, and from some of the rain I think that they'd had here in the past. And they're good to see Gavin Anthony up. So everybody in the attack crew, that maybe isn't looking at one of our monitors right now, you can see that he's up. It looked like maybe Gavin had tipped over, and Kevin hit something. I think he probably hit a motorcycle. Maybe nowhere to go and hit a bike.
Yeah, it's hard for us to speculate, but it makes sense in terms of, the running order, at least when they came across the stripe, was Gavin Anthony, Toby Kamsuk, and Kevin Olmedo. So maybe a conversation after this with Toby Kamsuk can shed some light on it as well. They're
both up and okay. That's the main thing, and you're exactly right. They were racing with Toby. Toby made it through there somehow, and this is going to give Toby a big break because he had kind of lost contact. And you're right, Greg. Look over to the left of the screen. All that debris. So somebody probably just hit that water, sent the bike sideways, and what I would think may have happened, and then maybe Kevin had nowhere to go and hit that bike.
All right, so Damian Jigeloff was leading the way when we reverted back, even though Alex Dumas had got by under red flag conditions. Normally what happens is they go back to the last completed lap by every competitor. That's why we were working 5 laps to go, and that's why we go back now, and this race was scheduled for 10, is now 6 laps remaining. With a look at Ashton Yates. And so Ashton's got to do it all over again as well. So Jigeloff, though, he did the work. I mean, he came back from, came from 9th on the grid, the outside of row number 3.
Yep.
And now he will, once they regrid, he'll sit on pole.
Yeah, you would think that's probably going to be the direction that they will go with this. We got 6 laps to go, so it will be look at Jamie Astudillo. She jumped all the way up to 10th, Greg. Mm-hmm. She was quite a way back, I believe, on the starting grid, and she got herself up to 10th. I'm looking to see.
Yeah, 17th. She was in 17th spot.
Yep.
Was Jamie.
And it looks like another guy that's in our points chase, Sean Invarsky, he climbed himself up to 15th, so he's another guy that we're not used to seeing so far back. He qualified 19th. He's up to 17th.
So for Jamie, just as an example, she qualified at a 159.412, and that was good enough for 17th. But now, being 10th after 4 laps, her best lap is a 158.8. So we're going to have 5 laps remaining. There'll be a new grid, and we'll let you know when this is going to get going. So if you're just joining us here at Pit Race in western Pennsylvania, also known as Pittsburgh International Race Complex, it's the MotoAmerica Championship in Pittsburgh. We're under red flag conditions for the Liqui Moly Junior Cup race, as we had an incident involving Kevin Olmedo and Gavin Anthony. Now, I wonder if Gavin's bike was actually able to make it back.
Yeah, you have to have a look. I think that it looked like a couple of, they had some pretty big damage. It's going to be a little bit of a cleanup. There's just a lot of mud and debris, and that's right where you're showing me right now.
So there's no water on the track necessarily, but Jason, what you were talking about was
it's still damp in there.
It's damp, yeah, definitely damp in the, in the grass there. So if you get off line, and it's a tricky section as well as the fact that if you're head down racing that close, you can, not necessarily see the line you want to be on either.
That's right. And the biggest problem they'll have, even with the blowers, is just some of the little bit of the mud and things like that. So it's very easy though, Greg. There was something that obviously there's obviously something there that just maybe sent that bike sideways when they got in the grass. Now these guys got it all to do again, Craig. It's people used to always say, what's it like when there's a red flag, and what are you thinking about? What are you doing? Well, you're thinking about what you just saw out there in the sense of who you might have been racing with, things that are going to be beneficial to your advantage when the race gets restarted. And I think all those first 6 guys now have got a taste of what each other have and who's fast where and what. And then you can start making a plan. We saw some of these guys were fast in certain spots. They're going to be going through that, and they're going to be waiting for the grid to come out from MotoAmerica so they can see where they're actually going to be starting. And then make a plan from there. But the red flags for me were always a thing that, especially if you're in a rhythm, if you're somebody like Toby, who we know can run the pace and got kind of shuffled back a little bit, he's happy with the red flag. The other guys probably aren't so much.
All right, so what we're going to do right now here on BN Sports Connect, we're going to lay out a little while they get this red flag situation sorted, and we'll get this race started. So hang tight. We'll be back in a little bit. Welcome back to the championship of Pittsburgh here at Pit Race in Wampum, Pennsylvania. I'm Greg White, Jason Pridmore joining me as we are awaiting the restart for race number 1 of the Liqui Moly Junior Cup after red flag conditions. Jason,
it's going to be fierce now. Five lap restart, and I think that you're going to add a couple extra guys to the group. I think the thing you got to look at, Greg, these guys are going to come around the grid up, and they'll hold them for a couple minutes, maybe 30 seconds. You can see you're allowed 1 person out on the grid. Just to kind of get your rider in the spot that they need to be in. And then they're going to let them out for 1 quick warm-up lap. And then we're going to have 5 laps with these guys. And especially being young, there's going to be a lot of young hearts out there ready to go. You see Ashton Yates cruising around on his warm-up lap.
So what we expect to see, because I don't actually have the starting grid yet from MotoAmerica, but it should be Damien Jigalov, Alex Dumas, and Ashton Yates on the front row. So number 78 is Damien Jigalov, and then you have Corey Ventura, Renzo Ferreira, and Jackson Blackman, Gavin Anthony, Toby Kamsa, Kevin Olmedo, if he's able to.
Both Anthony and Olmedo will probably not be on that 3rd row, I would think, Greg. I think both bikes were. It was good to see them both get up, though. So if anybody just joined us, both Kevin and Gavin looked like they were okay.
Jamie Ostadio, Gage Reach, Dylan Deutschlander when we stop this one. Hunter Dunham, Joe Blasius, and Sean Varsky in 15th spot. Dominic Doyle, Jay Newton, Jarrett Desani in 18th. So we possibly lost 2 riders. We'll see. I mean, it was a bit frantic down there in pits, and also, definitely for Kevin Olmedo. He was up and okay.
Yep.
So I think it was just a matter of what condition was the bike in. Could they get it back to the grid? But we'll find out here momentarily.
Didn't look like they were in a hurry. And then we saw Gavin. Initially, he was just kind of laying there, and then he got up, which was good, and walked himself into the ambulance. And you can see they're going to just get these guys gridded up pretty quick, and then they'll be off.
5 laps now remaining in this race, so it's just a 5-lap sprint race here at Pit Race. As our pole sitter from before. Alex Dumas, the 23, takes his grid position. And so this will be Damian Jigalov's first time in pole position in a MotoAmerica Pro race. Got to be a little excited about that, does the number 78.
Yeah, like I said, he's got quite a racing pedigree behind him. He's been over in Italy for the last 3 years. Great family. Dad's awesome, and so I've got to know them a little bit. And but to see him jump on the Cowie and do what he's doing, definitely going to be a big boost for his confidence. But he started from front rows in his life before. He'll be ready to go with these guys, and I'm sure there's a few of these boys that are sitting there thinking, wow, 78, where did Damian come from all of a sudden? And that guy in the middle of your screen, number 27 on the second or third row there, is the guy I'm going to be looking for, Toby Kamsuk. I feel like he got shuffled back real early last race. We'll see if he's able to make a better start.
You can see Damian is ready to go as our Porsche pace car comes up behind him. Now the warm-up lap, which we hope everyone knows. Didn't we have an incident last year with Tony Elias in Superbike class?
Coming over the top of the hill.
Yeah.
And just kind of going off onto the grass. And yeah, we did.
Hopefully there was long enough of a pause where racers really understood what the procedure is for this one in the Liqui Moly Junior Cup class. And we hope we don't see anybody come ripping onto the front straightaway, as it is the warm-up lap.
And you'll see yellow flags and stuff will be out, Greg, by the time they get to the last corner. A lot of these guys up in the front will have slowed the field down and go from there.
So an absolute free-for-all in this one with 5 laps to go at pit race. This 19-corner, 2.78-mile track. This is going to be like a crazy. This is the sprint of sprint races that we see. No race strategy, no worrying about tire conditions. Well, actually, these are the tires that they had to start the last race on.
And don't forget, we got a championship battle in amongst these guys as well between Alex and Ashton Yates. So they've got some guys they're going to have to deal with in the race itself, but they're going to be keeping an eye on each other a little bit. We've got sort of 6 races left in the championship. This is our closest championship that we have, I believe, right now at MotoAmerica. And I know they're going to try to get it down to the last race. And
there's, battles deep in the field in terms of position. So right now, Dumas, with his 6 wins on the season, has 27 points over Yates. And then you have Corey Ventura, who has 57, so he's 30 back from Yates. But then you have this mix in 4th, 5th, and 6th of Sean Umbarski, Jay Newton, and Gavin Anthony. Unfortunately for Gavin, he's not going to be restarting this race, but you have only 1 point between Umbarski and Jay Newton. Jackson Blackman is back there, battling it out with Jamie Ostadio in 7th and 8th spot. Gage Reese is also in the mix. So there's just a bunch of battles here. And, of course, you want to put on the best showing possible, because this is the entire idea of the Liqui Moly Junior Cup class, is to get on these bikes and showcase your talent in front of the people that hire you to be a professional motorcycle racer moving forward in your career.
That's exactly right. And especially when you're getting your first taste of it, there's a few of these guys we haven't seen up front in a little while, or at least this year. Again, Jackson Blackman up there on the second row. Figured he'd be battling for more wins and be up front, but he's found something here at this track. Renzo gets another shot there right in the middle of the second row.
So here we go, second start of race number 1 for the Liqui Moly Junior Cup class. Clutches are out, and we're headed to turn 1. Ashton Yates will slot into 4th for the moment, so not a terrific start for Yates.
Great start for Jigalov, though. Him and Alex Dumas lead their way into turn 1. Corey Ventura in 3rd. As you said, Yates got pushed back to 4th. 5th now. Looks like maybe Renzo got by Yates as well. Alex looked like he was trying to go up the inside of Damian as they head up to turn 3 for the first time. And it looked like he was able to make the pass. We'll see on our next shot. Looks like the field got away pretty clean. And here you go, Greg. We got Dumas, followed by Jigalov, Corey Ventura. Renzo is right there in 4th. Ashton Yates 5th. Looks like Jamie Ostadio all the way up to 6th. Jackson Blackman and Toby Kamsuk there back in the 9th spot. So
what a start for Ostadio, and this red flag really benefiting her. She was 10th on the grid all the way up from 17th.
Yep. And now she's going to get to see that pace that these guys all ran in that first leg. She's going to get a chance to see the pace that they had. Alex leads them in through the S's on the first lap.
You can look at the 49, Ostadio Right behind her
Jackson Blackman
was
Toby
Jackson.
Kamsuk. Yep, directly behind.
Big program, this Yamaha R3 with the Graves.
Toby had a look. He had a look
did.
there.
That was a 27 trying to get around Blackman. You know, the Graves R3 program is big. I was talking to a couple of the guys that ride, including Jackson Blackman, and they said, you know, they meet quite often during the race weekend to talk about, you know, what they're doing in terms of setup and gearing and those things. That's 9 riders deep. That's a big, big team.
Yep.
All right, so through the chicane they go. Dumas trying to make a break early. We saw this at the start of the first half of this race, and Dumas got out to a jackrabbit start.
Yep.
But then they were able to reel him in. So Astadio right now creating a little bit of a gap back there to the oh, nice move up the inside.
Jackson's trying to go up the inside. Let's see if he. I'm got a feeling he's going to have to get back into Jamie's draft there as they come down the front straightaway. Alex Dumas is going to lead our first lap away, and a couple guys are still. Corey Ventura's having a look, trying to go with him.
I think the surprise for me right now is Ashton Yates, as he's still kind of stuck back there in 5th spot, trying to find a way around.
Renzo, he's trying to get by Renzo Ferreira still.
Yeah.
And normally we see Ashton make pretty quick work. We see Gage Reese now. So Toby, I think Toby's trying to make moves, and then when they don't happen, he's losing some pace and getting swallowed back up. And that's what it looked like just happened to him there as well. So, because we saw Toby up behind Jackson Blackman and Jamie Astadio the lap prior, and we saw him try to make a move on Jackson. And now, Greg, he's lost some 4 or 5 spots.
Ooh, Astadio getting sideways on the gas. You can see that she was out a little wide, and when she twisted that throttle wide open, it started to spin and went a little motocross sideways on her. She was able to close the throttle and keep the drive alive.
Now Ashton's able to get by Renzo and open up a little bit of a gap. So he's going to try to go work on Corey Ventura. I don't think he's going to be able to do much with Corey through these little sections. Corey's really fast all through there. It was a good look at Jackson. Just didn't get the start he needed. He was on the back of these guys in the first leg of our race. Now he's back there in, what is he, Greg, 6th or 7th spot now. So.
Yeah, Austin. Oh, looked like a big transition for Jiggleoff there as he tried to get it on the meat of the tire. Just a little movement on the rear end of the bike.
You see Renzo there. He's just lost touch with that first 4. Ashton's doing everything he can to get in the slipstream. Corey Ventura's to come into the chicane. I don't think, he's Ashton's a smart guy. He knew he couldn't really do anything with Corey into that chicane.
Ashton is so impressive when he's behind. I mean, he's able to claw back in. He's set the fastest splits of 1 and 2 so far, and the fastest top speed, which you don't think you want to see from the taller Yates. Usually 113.3 miles an hour so far in this one. As they come across the stripe, it's going to be 3 to go for Alex Dumas, Damian Jiggleoff, Corey Ventura, Ashton Yates, and Renzo Ferreira and the rest of the field.
And you watch what happens now. Renzo is he's got a good lap behind Ashton there. He may have got pushed out a little bit, and that's why he fell back. But I expect to see Renzo get on the back of these guys, hopefully, if he can. Just a little bit. Here we go, a little further back. Jackson Blackman still trying to get by Jamie Astadio as they head up into turn 3. And it looks like he's not quite close enough.
Jamie able to do her fastest lap of the weekend, Jason. A 58.6 for Jamie.
Yeah.
She did a 58.8 in the first half of this race.
Yeah, Damian Jiggleoff has taken the lead as well, as you see in our screen right now, but you're exactly right. You're going to see some people start doing some fast laps, especially at the end. These 4 or 5 guys, they're already starting to duke it out. Look at Renzo. Renzo's kind of got back up into the back of them a little bit now. And it looks like all these guys are good in different spots. Corey's good through the whole S's. I think if he can get a lead, if he could somehow lead these guys into the S's, it's going to be hard work for some of the boys to get by him. Renzo now is crept up onto the back.
And what we've seen is Damian Jiggleoff attacked Alex Dumas in the chicane, and then every time Alex has been able to get into the chicane, he's fine. So the question now is, in terms of raceability with that KTM, can he make a move in the chicane if he needs it, Alex Dumas, to try to get around Damian Jiggleoff as Jiggleoff continues to lead the way? You know, there's nothing between these 4 riders right now as Dumas trying to go up the inside, and he does. So into the chicane, Dumas is able to make this.
He's really good on the exit.
Yeah, really good.
Like in and through the chicane.
But we've also seen Jiggleoff get by him before start-finish line in the first half of this race. So this will be a telling sign right now if Jiggleoff is able to have enough tire on the edge of the tire.
You can see Alex pushing his weight back on the seat there, and you get one maneuver. Remember that, Greg? We've seen that. MotoAmerica took some action in Utah. Utah, you get one maneuver coming to the line. He was able to lead as they came across, but Jiggaloff goes underneath him.
Whoa!
Big move for Jiggaloff as he went up underneath Alex. That's going to balk Alex, and see how it closed everybody else up now?
Yeah, that's a really aggressive move because that is a very tricky corner, turn one.
Oh,
Rider
it looks
down.
like Drake Beecham. That's going to be the chicane as well, Greg. That's gonna be the chicane as well, I believe. I'm guessing a little bit, but yeah, it's Drake Beecham. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that. It's very hard to get to the bikes here. If they can get the corner worker staff, the good thing about the laps being as long here is it does give our corner worker staff a little bit of time to get out there.
Yep.
Now look who's moved up into second. Renzo Ferreira up into second spot.
Renzo!
And now Damien's going to try to do something with them going in. They got a red flag.
Red flag out on this one. 2 laps to go. This could quite possibly be called.
You can see Renzo's bummed because he got himself up into second, and there's Drake sitting off to the side there. You know, Greg, I guarantee you, the problem is when you just ride through.
Same spot as our red flag before.
But that's because it's so wet there. You can see it's muddy.
Yep.
So as soon as you get a bike into that stuff, it just turns the bars or gets the bike sideways going in there, and it just throws you off.
I'm not a MotoAmerica official, Jason, but I would have to imagine that they're going to call this one.
Yep.
So they're going to have to revert back to the last lap, and the question is on our screens now.
Yeah.
We have Alex Dumas 0.134 over Damien Jiggaloff, Corey Ventura in third, but we'll have to wait for the official word because I think Damien was leading the last lap. Or was Alex?
Yep, I think Alex was leading the last lap. I think
as well.
He got underneath Alex going down into turn one.
That's right.
And with the big thing there for Alex is Ashton finishing fourth, so that's going to put some distance between those guys
in the championship.
You know, the problem, Greg, is with that little area that we've seen these accidents now in the Liqui Moly class. The concern definitely is some of the bigger bikes are going to be coming here later. They're going to be able to see that you can't really make a mistake down there in that chicane because it's just too muddy.
So Alex Dumas, who basically started off the season until we were at the 8th race of the year, which was the first race of Utah, which he had either won or not started or finished. So anytime he was on. And so it wasn't until Utah race 2 where Alex was off of the top step of the podium. He was third. But as weird as this is to say it, for Alex Dumas, his 7th win of the season, and we have not seen him on the top step of the podium since the 8th race of the year, which was Utah #1.
Yeah, and this was a good race
so that was
for him last year. This is where he actually won his first 2 races. Then he went to Jersey and won a couple there in Jersey as well.
So for the championship points leader, Jason, the drought is over.
Yeah,
the drought.
Exactly. Yep. Remember how unhappy he looked when he finished, second and third. And
is this where it started?
This is last year. He won
for Alex. Yeah, this is where he started,
and then he went to Jersey and did the same there. But so you can see Drake's bike there, the right clip-on snapped off. So and it's a horrible place because you can't really get there safely. There's bikes coming with such speed, so it's difficult. The corner worker stations aren't right in this area, so it's hard to get to a motorcycle if you have an issue there.
By the way, Ashton Yates set the fastest lap of that one on that last lap by, so we do revert back to.
Here you go, Greg. You're going to get a chance to look at how he did it even before. So something happened in the middle. You can see another rider out there as well, but Drake actually did it somewhere back. The curbings there are a little bit high. So if you catch it in the little left part of the chicane there, if you catch it with that front tire, front wheel, it can definitely do something. You can see Drake ran over to the bike and he tried to do something, but then he looks back and sees a bunch of bikes coming, and it's not the ideal spot to be. So good for him getting out of the way there.
So it's going to be Alex Dumas, Damien Jiggaloff, Corey Ventura should be on the podium, Ashton Yates in 4th spot. So that is, like you're saying, Jason, the championship battle was between Dumas and Yates. It still is. There was 27 points, and now that's going to be extended another 12 by Dumas. Here's a look at the results. Jiggaloff, Ventura, Yates, Ferreira, Astudillo from 17th on the grid to 6th. I bet she wished we had a position of a starting procedure where we said, okay, whatever you finish in this today, you get to regrid tomorrow in the finishing order.
Yeah, that's
she's got to do it all over again. But good job for Astudillo, who ends up significantly quicker in this race than she was in qualifying. Dylan Deutschlander in 9th spot. He came up from 13th on the grid as well. So good moves there in the Liqui Moly Junior Cup, race number 1, part 2, I guess you could say, for this one.
No, it's that's why the qualifying's so close here. But if you come to a track like, you go to a track like Utah, you can qualify kind of on the 3rd or 4th row and still draft your way up.